precious things, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everybody for being here. We do have a guest tonight, Tyler Bush with McKentry's here. We'll get to him first on the reports. So with that, go to correspondence and public participation. This is the point of the meeting for comments on matters not already on the agenda. Comments on agenda items will be when that item comes up during the meeting. Interested participants may also submit views in written form to the clerk or superintendent prior to the meeting, and those comments will be brought to the attention of the board during the meeting. Do we have any public participation or correspondence? Okay. I'll go on into new business 4.01. Resignations for information. Thank you for your service, though. I appreciate it. At 4.02, Scott, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'd like to recommend for hire, classified position, district paraprofessional, Kenzie Rogers.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the classified hire Kenzie Rogers as district paraprofessional for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Go ahead.
Meredith Cross, CFA president. I'm just wondering, is it in any building or is there a particular building?
We've been, since the last 2 years, we've been hiring district-wide. That way they can be moved around as needed.
Anything else? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.03.
Okay, I'd like to recommend for the 26-27 school year for extracurricular hire, Militia Siegel, FBMS mini bank sponsor.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Militia Siegel as the FBMS mini bank sponsor for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Is that you? Okay. Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.04. District substitutes.
Do you want all three at the same time, Steve?
I think so.
Okay. I'd like to recommend for the 26-27 school year district substitutes, Sam Link, Courtney Logan, and Autumn Stewart.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Samantha Link, Courtney Logan, and Autumn Stewart as district substitutes for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.05.
Is Brittany in the meeting?
Yes.
So a letter was submitted to me and the superintendent and I believe board chair from Tara Anderson asking to waive the liquidated damages of $2,000 due to resigning after July 1st. You can go in an executive session if you feel like it. If you want to do that, I've provided the letter to you guys under the executive portion of board docs.
I can't see it
Uh-oh.
on my, I can only see the executive comment when I log in from my phone.
Can you see the administrative? I can put it in the administrative. Do you usually see the administrative on here?
I can't, in like the resignations, I could see their letters
Right.
when I logged into my phone, but not on my computer. I don't know why, because I'm logged in.
I can email it to you really quick.
Sure, that'd be easier. She's gonna email it to me.
Does anybody else need it?
No, I have it.
You want it?
No, you log in.
Yeah, it's how I did the top and everything.
Sometimes you have to log out and log back in.
Okay, maybe I'll do that.
Line back and not giving me the percent and that double in or the left one.
Okay, I can see it now.
Oh, you got it?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
It's making me download it again, so.
Shit, married me.
Do you want to go into executive session?
I think so.
Right.
Okay. At this time, we'll be going to executive session. We'll be back. Right, with that, I'll go to the vote. Francis? On the minutes.
Oh. Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees does not approve Tara Anderson's request to waive the liquidated damages for her late resignation.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 4.06.
Okay, I'll go ahead and present it. Through the negotiations process using interest-based bargaining, a tentative collective bargaining agreement has been reached between the CFA and the Colstrip Public School District number 19 and is presented for ratification by both parties. This agreement shall be effective July 1st, 2026 and shall continue in full force until June 30th, 2027. The final draft with changes will be signed by both parties upon board approval. So at this point, I do have one. Is it okay for me to talk about one edit?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, if we look at the 17th page, what we did with the holiday leave was we presented it, and we had several discussions, negotiations and whatnot, that we would be doing the same as the CCA. But when it was put into the in the agreement into the CBA, it's the same wording. So it says something to the effect of C 11.1, which are the holidays. So rather than have that, I just need to put the names of those holidays in there. So there's really no content change at all. It's just because in the CCA, they have in their, I think in their appendix, they have the list of them. So the 11.1 refers to the holidays. So I think with this one, I just need to get the names of the holidays in there. That understandable?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Pretty simple, really. Like I said, same content, just since it was copied and pasted, we didn't get the names of them in there. But that's all I had.
So can I ask something about this?
Mhm.
So if a teacher wanted to take leave, they'd just take leave without pay?
For a holiday?
That's what we were after all. They could go, but
That has happened before. Yes.
this, yeah, first one.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve the CFA collective bargain agreement for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Gilbert.
In article, I'm not good with, Roman numeral, but in the duration, the one I, looked at as old dates for the term of the contract. So the agreement shall be effective July 1st, 2024, and shall continue in full force and effect until June 30th, 2026.
You know what page that is?
It's Article 15, I think, duration.
section 1.
It's on page 27.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, can you see that part?
I wrote it down. I didn't pull it up yet.
Okay.
Okay. That's just some, we can change that. I'm looking at you, Marietta.
That was, when I was going through, because Brittany was out, so I made some edits to this. That part wasn't highlighted in the copy that I had access to, so I completely missed the dates.
Yeah, we can, that's fine.
Yeah, that's,
Do you want me to amend my motion?
With, yeah, you can.
No, amend my motion. Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve the CFA collective bargain agreement for the 26-27 school year with modifications to page number 27 under duration, section 1. And the holidays will be listed page 17, subsection C.
second.
Any further public comment on that? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Handbooks.
Okay, I've got 3 to present. So I'll be presenting for approval tonight for the 26-27 school year. The employee handbook, the FEMA school emergency plan, and then also a tech user agreement. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple comments just so you know. The employee handbook, I haven't made any changes from last year. The FEMA school emergency plan, that was part of the purchase from Navigate 360. So it made it kind of exactly what we've been doing with all of our other handbooks. We have what's more of a universal handbook for all schools in the whole district. But what we'll be doing is having the emergency response team meet. And then as we go through the year, we'll meet and work on if there's anything specific for each school in the appendix to this. But this will get us off and running with our safety plans and be able to implement them in our schools. Any question over those 2 yet? Okay, the tech user agreement we had in there originally. I'm going to have Peyton go over this because what we have is the new wording, the strike throughs that were in there when it came to the board a month ago or so was not put in this document tonight. So he's just going to go over that real quick so you can see what we changed. It's all yours, Peyton.
You look up here, sorry. Actually, see this real quick.
Yeah, you guys got the clean copy tonight.
Sure. Okay. So everyone should be able to see my screen. Okay. So the red is what was originally in there. Staff must bring their personal cell phones to work to authenticate logins for 2FA and MFA. The district will not provide free physical security keys. We've completely taken those 2 sentences out. They may bring their personal cell phones to work to authenticate, and the district will provide a security key upon request. So,
Thanks, Peyton.
yep.
And how much are those security keys?
We're looking at it right now. The basic is 30. but we're thinking we might need to go with the $60 one. So
I just had a thought a couple days ago, I should have reached out to you, but, when it's a lot different, but when someone checks out a building key from me and they don't return them, we charge them $5 per key. I don't know if that's something you guys want to look at, if a teacher asks for one of these keys instead of using their own phone, or a staff member, anybody, that they have to pay to replace it. Is that something you guys want to?
Mhm.
It's just a thought I want to throw out there, because it is just like a little thing, right, that you plug into your computer, and
Yeah.
it's going to get really expensive if every employee has one, and then multiple times they lose it and there's no consequence to it. So just an idea.
Yeah, maybe on the next session, work session, you can bring a proposal for us to on that,
Or you can put it in the agreement too.
or put it in agreement, yeah.
So replacement is either the $30 or $60.
Well, he's thinking the $60 one.
Yeah,
So-
that's good.
the staff that are most critical, that have a lot of PII and a lot of data that could affect the school, is practically everyone, but I'm mainly thinking like the admin. Those are the ones that I would want the $60 for. They're static passwords. They can hold up to 200 keys. The staff probably just need the $30 one, which is still secured. It just doesn't have the rotating static passwords like the other one has. So,
Okay.
probably $30 for the staff, 60 for admin, and whatever else.
Let's just put that in the agreement. You know,
Mhm. Is there a monthly fee, or you just buy it one time? and
One
you're done? Okay. Okay. Anything else on the handbook, Scott?
No, ma'am.
Katie, anything else on the handbook? So you guys are good to go on those?
Good.
Jen?
So the employee handbook, Barb's name needs fixed. Her first name is spelled wrong, and then Sabrina's left off of the Board of Trustees list. So those changes.
I thought I fixed that, honestly. Maybe I did. Seriously, I remember that. I did. Oh, well. Okay, I'll do it again.
Okay. That works.
Huh, okay, thanks, Jen.
Yes.
Okay, I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the following handbooks for 2026-2027 school year. Employee handbook with revisions to the Board of Trustees names. FEMA school emergency plan as presented. 26-27 staff tech user agreement with the addition of replacement cost added for anyone who loses their key. Support it better.
All right, I have a motion second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
1.08,
Let's see. Okay, yeah, bringing forward tonight, the volunteer agreement. We needed to bring up to speed the driver piece of this, because what we did, as you can see in the section here, let me see, let me just read through this. In order to comply with HB 745, MTSB recommends the amendments to policy 54030 NF as presented, and then these were taken back in June. We're kind of going backwards a little bit, but basically what happened was we brought the model policy to the board and we adopted the model policy. But then what that did is we didn't have the driver wording, if they're going to drive vehicles, as far as what the policy with the agreement is for the people that are driving. So we wanted to put it all on one form instead of two separate forms. So that's all we really did. So you'll see that highlighted language on the volunteer form, the second one you have there. So the first one's the school board's model policy. Then the second one, because when we deleted our policy, that had the driver one. So we want them combined again. It's no changes, just the addition of the driver on this policy.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to policy 5430 NF1 volunteer agreement form with the driver portion included as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Any public comment on this? Need for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Budget adoption.
Okey-dokey. As you all, not everyone knows, but this year looked a lot different for me in preparing the budget and the TFS. OPI was about, gosh, I think 12 days later than last year, opening up Mayfairs to where we can even get in there and do our reporting, which is a lot of days. As you guys know, I'm usually working the weekend during that time to try to get everything done. And so to have 12 days off of there was not easy. Plus having some personal things came up was not easy. And also OPI got back to me at noon today where they fixed our budget. So they had configured the whole budget due to the new House bill changing the funding. And they kind of forgot to take in Colstrip into consideration. So when I brought that to their attention about a week ago, they scrambled and tried to fix the back end of their programming and had to reprogram things to get our budgets to do what they were supposed to do. So I didn't get that done until noon today. So normally I have a presentation for you guys on the budget. I don't have one today. So unfortunately, we'll go over it, but as far as having a cute little slideshow with those funny memes that you guys all laugh at and you think I'm silly for, I don't have those. But what I do have I did have time to do the trustees financial because I do that one first. So I did have a little bit of time to throw that together. Just a shout out to tech for a second. I went to Maslow training and they taught me about the Notebook LM. Amazing. If you guys have not used it, it's through Google and I gave them my TFS. I gave them kind of a slideshow idea of what I wanted. And this is help from Notebook. You can make revisions, you can do things like that. But honestly, if you guys have not used it, use it. Okay, that's my little plug. So this is the trustees financial. You guys have both of these in front of you. You have the elementary and the high school. We have two districts that we run here. And the trustees financial is basically everything I did this last year. So everything that the district paid out, every revenue that came in is all in these reports. So I just kind of made a quick slideshow to put that together. So if you want to go to the next slide, Peyton. So this shows the elementary district, the revenues, expenditures, pretty close, just a slight overage in our revenue. And that's only because I underestimated some coal. So that's where that money comes from. And then also for the high school, there was a little bit of underestimating of what our revenues were. So that's why our revenues came out just a little bit higher. Go to the next one, Peyton. Elementary district, our balance right now is 536,084, and our high school is 313,312. You guys will see when we talk about the budgets, where those numbers, why we have leftover in the general fund, and I'll go over that with our budget. Okay, next one, Peyton. In here, just kind of a little look for you guys to see where our revenue comes from. There's been a lot of talk about the coal mitigation block grant, and this kind of puts it out there and lets you know if that goes away. $1.06 million is going away in our elementary and $627,000 in your high school. So just to keep that's on everyone's radar. Hasn't gone away yet, so we're just going to keep ticking along, but it does kind of financially make me be prepared with the finances that we do have and the overages that we have and the funds that we have in impact aid and things like that, that we are looking at. If that were to go away, we would have something to help replace it for at least a year, maybe two. So that is something to just kind of keep in mind. You see our direct state aid. barely touches what your budget is. You have your coal proceeds that help our taxpayers immensely, and then the district levies on top. So, Peyton, next one. This kind of shows you the expenditures in our general fund. This is just the general fund. So the top is our regular instruction, and it shows your salaries and benefits plus the supplies that it takes to run the classrooms. This is, keep in mind, this is only the general fund. So the next one is your support staff and their supplies and services. How much it costs out of operations and maintenance for the, you guys are just looking at the elementary, sorry. And then keeps going on down. School admin support, special education instruction for the elementary is at $309,000. Business services, that's kind of our business office. You can see that. And then food service, food service fund can't fund all of the salaries and benefits. And it mostly pays for its own supplies, but as far as their salaries and benefits, it shows you all of it. Not all of it, but all of the money spent in the general fund goes to salaries and benefits. So we just can't pay for all the staff out of the lunch fund. Go to the next one, Peyton. This is the high school. Kind of the same outline there. Special education for the high school is at $108,000. And this doesn't count any funding we get for the IDEA grant or anything like that. Just keep that in mind. This is just the general fund. Extracurricular, you see that extracurricular is not out of the general fund. It has its own fund, but we do help support it. So when there's big expenditures come out, the general fund takes on some of those. So you can go to the next one, Peyton. These are our non-general funds. So we have your transportation fund, retirement fund, school food service fund. That kind of just shows you our elementary versus high school, your revenues and expenditures, and kind of where we're at. So I think we're sitting pretty good in the lunch fund. I did overspend, and that is because you can only carry 3 months of expenditures in your lunch fund. And I was just a little bit over the last couple of years and got a nice little letter from OPI saying, you should probably spend that down. So that's what I did. So that's why that's a little bit higher, because we were trying to kind of meet OPI standards there. Next one, Peyton. Bus depreciation fund. We're sitting pretty good for when we need to replace those buses. When we get to the budget, I did not, I have been levying just very small amount for the bus depreciation, and I did not do that this year. I feel like we're healthy to where if they need to replace some buses, that we're good. So that shows the difference between elementary or the bus depreciation and then our building fund. So the building fund is sitting pretty good too. That is also, you'll see in the budget, the small major maintenance aid that we get, that you guys decided a while back that we would start levying taxpayers a small portion, and then the state doesn't quite match us, but they then contribute some. So we've been doing that for the last 3 years. So that's why that fund is getting a little bit higher, which is really nice, because that comes in handy when there's something unexpected come up at the building that needs fixed. Next one, Peyton. Oh, okay, that's it. So, sweet. So that is the trustees financial. So if you're curious about anything that, you know, these aren't the funnest to look at, I'm not gonna lie. You can skip all the first pages, but when you get to the back, just if you want to know, you know, adult ed, you want to know like what comes out of adult ed, how many expenditures do we have in adult ed? That'll show you like how much in salaries we pay. It shows you everything on each individual fund. So take these, and I know you kind of got them last minute, but these aren't needing approval tonight. They're just for your information. So if you have any questions and you're like, hey, Brittany, why are we paying something out of this fund? Send me an email. I'd love to chat with you about it and answer any questions that you have on there. I may not know right off the top of my head if you pinpoint one specific line, but I can get you an answer, okay? Just to note, the fixed assets are not in here yet, but they will be. But like I said, you guys aren't really approving these tonight. You're more approving the budget. So I will have those in there when those are done. Any questions on the TFS? No, I know, Barb. It's, I know. It's a lot, especially the first time that you're looking at them. It's kind of like, well, what is she even talking about?
It's big business, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so going into the budget. You guys are seeing these about as fresh as I am, so. And let's look at the elementary. If anyone needs a copy, good golly, I forgot to tell you, there's some copies up on the counter up there. I don't have too many, but if you would like a copy and you don't get one, send me a message. I'll send it to you, okay? So as you can see in here, the general fund, if you look at this one is kind of one that will show you exactly what is going to the taxpayers. And I just want to touch base a little bit. I had asked the question of the new funding, where we are collectively as a district now going to, or as a county, going to fund the mill levies. So they basically explained it to me that, I said, how do I tell my taxpayers what to expect? And they said, well, you're not really going to be able to. We won't know till sometime in September how that's really going to affect the taxpayers. And he said, it's kind of like kind of explained it, it's kind of like your retirement fund. The retirement fund you see on here is I have a budget of $775,000. That is funded by the state. So the retirement fund, that's not from like I don't get to say how much our taxpayers are going to do. The county pools everyone's budget on the retirement fund and then divvies it out. So he said, it's kind of like that. Taxpayers don't know how much they're actually going to have to pay for retirement. And it's kind of the same way. So it doesn't give our taxpayers much comfort. Unfortunately, that's just how the funding is working right now. So unfortunately, we don't have, I'd like hard numbers to give people, but we just don't. So this year, the only funds that are being levied is the tuition fund, and that is only for $5,000. And that is I had opened this account, I believe last year, and said that we would just get a base going in there because I do get random invoices if we have a child that is our student but is sent to New Day or Boys and Girls Ranch or things like that. We still are required to pay for their education. So I don't always know when those are going to come. So I did levy just a tiny 0.09 in the elementary for that. Technology is going to hopefully, we have a lot of talk to do regarding a lot of technology changes that are coming up as far as moving internet here, E-rate issues. We have a lot of things coming up that I'll be bringing to the board of maybe we may want to talk about a tech levy going forward. If not, I have already started to kind of have the general fund start taking a little bit more of the technology expenses because it's taking on a lot of stuff. Like if there is a program that teachers are using for reading, sometimes it can be paid out of technology. I may start kind of moving those back over to the general fund. So you can see that I just levied 6.0 mills in the technology fund. And then the building reserve that you see there, the 0.94 is for that small major maintenance aid. That's it. We didn't go above that amount. And then, so the total for all the funds was 19.16. That's pretty standard. I mean, there's nothing like super out of the norm with that. If we look at the high school, the same same explanation, but it's 10.5 for the general fund, 0.9 for the tuition, just to get that base in there. And then technology is 3.43. Building reserve is just the small major maintenance aid again. And the total for that is 14.48. Let me think of this.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the high school section.
Did you get it?
Not that, packet, the smaller one.
The budget.
Okay. This one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you guys kind of know, the general fund budget is not really up to us. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room with the general fund. They tell us how much we can do. Now that the coal mitigation block grant goes to our overbase levy, we don't levy the taxpayers. We don't ask them. So there isn't a whole lot of wiggle room with the general fund. Transportation fund, I budget for the bus routes that we have, the individual contracts, bus contracts that we have. And that one is pretty on point, normal. I don't really see much else in there. Adult education is very healthy right now. We keep that one really healthy because of if there is anything that happens with the pool, the adult ed takes on some of those expenditures as well. So we were asked during the bond why that amount is so high.
Mhm.
And we did explain, just in case there are some big expenditures with that, we keep that one healthy. That's about it. We have the debt service fund now due to our bond. And that is all that I really have for you guys. I don't really have anything coming up really major budget wise besides the technology we need to take a really strong look at, and we'll bring that to the board and see what you guys want to do with that. Everything else looks pretty normal. There was during negotiations, it was brought up to do fact finding. And fact finding is basically where one group, they come back, they have a fact finder come in and they look at your finances and they say, okay, you can afford more or you can't, and they, do a report. So that's where negotiations was headed. And when I did some research, it was looking like the reserves. So if you look at this portion, in the general fund, we can hold 10% reserve. So that's why you see my balance is 400. Well, let's look at the elementary. It's 480,000. So I reserve 10% of our general fund budget to carry us over into the next year so that we can already start making purchases. And this was brought up during our bond rating as well. And they said you have a really good bond rating because you guys are able to keep those reserves and we don't have to spend them. In fact finding, I found out they can use that money against the school to say, hey, you have this money, you reserved 10%. So I may still be bringing maybe an option to you guys on putting something in policy to protect the reserves. I feel like it's important as the financial person of the district. I'll possibly present that to you guys, whether you want to put it in policy and say that you guys direct me to save that 10%, because right now it's just, I just do it. So it would be nice if there was some sort of policy that says, hey, Brittany, we direct you as long as you're able to be able to, and there would be language that if we were in a bad situation, we could use it. But I don't really like the idea that somebody can play with that and say, hey, you have the money, you're going to go ahead and use it. So I don't like that. I feel like we make good financial
No, it needs
decisions.
to be there for,
and-
yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
What does the school do if they don't have that ability to do reserves and then they start their new year? How do they pay for stuff?
I think their county lets them go in the red.
Oh,
We don't want to
And-
do that.
And some districts can't, right? They need to
Right.
spend every single penny they have. We've been able to save that 10%. So what if there was one year that we had a really bad year? We could use it, the 10% if we absolutely had to. Same with the transportation fund. We can save 20% in there. I do that. I save the full 20% every year. Same with the retirement fund. You don't want your retirement fund spent all out and then not have anything left over because you miscalculated or you had some things come up that you didn't expect. Like we had this year, we had a couple come up that we weren't really expecting. So,
What do you mean when you say you had a really bad year? What would make a bad year?
well, if we didn't have any money. We didn't have enough money in your general fund to pay the bills.
If we lose the coal mitigation blocker, like if we lost that, we wouldn't be able to hold 10% over.
You
Most
may be
likely.
able to if you start using some of those other funds I had talked about, you
Mhm.
know, but we would have to go to the voters for an overbase levy again. We would have to start doing that.
It would have to be yearly then.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that point, you're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You gotta get permission from the tax base before you can do anything.
Mhm.
I think she's right. I think we need to put something in policy to protect that 10%. Because at some point, like I said, they've already got our cold ghost proceeds.
Mhm.
The next step is that block grant.
Yep.
And we've spelled this out, I don't know how many times, and then you did such a great job on that public meeting. I don't think they're grasping that. That they've already got one portion of it. There's only one more portion to get. And I think even in the conversations I've had with MTSBA and their financial guys is they're coming for it. They've already opened that door. It might not be this year. Well, it's not gonna be this year.
Right.
It's probably not next year. But you don't know what 27, 28 brings.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Every other school district has to go to public every year.
Yep.
Or levies.
Well, they can choose to. A lot of school districts just don't choose to because they know they're not gonna pass it.
Like
and-
things.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
some people do and they do.
Are frozen when you don't get any more money.
They have a 5-year look back. Yeah, on the overbase levies. So, it was talked about, I think I was told, I can't remember who said it. I think Sabrina, you were there, that we should hold a levy. If we continue this way for another year, we should hold a levy. And even though you pass it, doesn't mean you have to, tax,
levy
yeah,
that money.
yeah, but it stays in your 5-year look back.
Mhm.
So
That they
it-
passed it.
yeah, it would basically be like, hey, guys, we're not actually using the money, but hey, we need you to do this for our 5-year look back, you know, and hope that they,
Or I
Voted
think they
yes.
even said like, run it for $1,000 or something. Like,
Right.
run it for a very minimal amount that wouldn't cost anybody anything. Just so you can prove that you passed those.
Mhm.
Because if you lose that 5-year look back,
Then
and
you are.
then yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're stuck.
Yeah, I'd probably put something together to
Okay.
present.
Do other schools do that? Have you seen anybody that does that?
no, I haven't looked.
Okay.
All I know is the bond people had said it.
Yeah.
And I asked MTSBA about it. They said you may want to be careful about, you know, limiting yourself then, because if
Mhm.
you put language in there that is, you know, you want to hold 10% and you make it a firm deal, then there may come up a time where you may need to use it and now you can't. So they did bring up some points. I can share with you guys their email too. But I think it's definitely something that if we can work on some language, I can do some research and find out by the time I present it to you guys of what that looks like.
Yeah.
And go forward.
I think we need that.
I think so too.
That's basically all I've got for you guys for the budget. We don't really have, anything too surprising, coming up to, look forward for this year. Next year might look a little different, depending on how things go. But, we're keeping an eye on our A and B numbers and they, continue to drop. So, as you see, our budget is not, didn't increase by a lot of money. So, I expect next year is going to look about the same. So. But our taxable valuation number went up a lot, so that was good. Thanks.
Thanks for
Wait so long.
I know, sorry. Well, and I'm sorry it's not as great as
Nope.
presentation
Not
either,
your
but
fault.
Next time we'll still expect some names.
Okay.
Well, I would project that if our school district, it's more classes here, like welding, certified welding, auto certification, and carpentry, that if we got those in, which we're working on, so we've got 3 in already through Scott. I mean, what's his?
Mr. Bailey.
Sorry, that we'll attract more students back, or attract students to come in. And are we ahead in the area with implementing those, or are other schools comparable to us getting those classes in also?
That's not my job.
Anybody?
Some do, but we're working on it to make it better.
Yeah,
One of our goals up there.
We'll get there.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees adopts the following budgets: elementary budget 26-27-0796 and high school budget 26-27-0797.
okay.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Then we'll go into our work session. I'm gonna skip down to Mr. Bush with McKinstry so we can get him out of here. Tyler, yours, bud.
Sure, if you, pull up the presentation. Hold on a second. Next slide. So this is Jen, just breaking down the bond project into 3 different, groups. One is at the Colstrip High School, Pine Butte Elementary School, and then kind of a combined sports complex. The items or the scope items that are highlighted in yellow will be tackled next summer. So i.e. we have electrical service distribution at both the high school and at Pine Butte Elementary School. We have, contracts associated with that scope as well as our design. Again, I put in the ear, when we talk about those projects for next summer, we're talking about total outage of power at the high school for a 2-week period. So, what that means, IT related and storage and cloud still has to be developed, but I mean, no lights, no power, coordinating with fire protection services because we don't have pumps that would be operational. So I mean, those are big things. That's a long way out, but I just want to put that idea or that thought process, nobody coming into a building, no flushing toilets, no power, no water type of environment during a specific block. So we plan to break that down to at the high school for 2 weeks and then at the elementary for 2 weeks. But again, that's 2027. We've got some other things that we plan to do at Pine Butte Elementary School, in the cafeteria, as well as some finishes that I'll talk a little bit about when we go into it. So if you go into the next slide, talk about where we're at. So you can see there the picture, we have replaced all 500 plus seats in the auditorium renovation. Ripped all of the old ones out, put all of those new ones in. There is some seat lighting that we're finalizing and plugging into like LED. So it'd be like little road lights that would be operational when the overhead lighting is done. And then next summer, some of the finishes that I'm talking about, we'll replace that blue carpeting with something that is a little bit more aesthetically matching to the curtains that have also been replaced. So all of the stage curtains have been replaced and all of the seating, but to get a little bit more finishes that are a little bit more matching. One thing that I mentioned, and I put a question mark there, are some lighting improvements. You can see there just by the color of the lights. Those are old metal halide lights, and that's with the same camera at 2 different times. You can see there that it's a pretty yellowy, greenish vibe going on. So I'm going to explore some opportunities to make the lighting a little bit more updated, to get a little bit more clarity in the space, not necessarily associated with like presentation and spotlighting, but just the overhead lighting to give it more of an aesthetic. I think we've touched lighting throughout the district, but I'm not aware of us ever going in to this space. We've done gym lighting, we've done lighting in classrooms and in corridors, but I don't think that we've ever done anything in that auditorium. So I've asked Colstrip Electric to kind of look at what some options are and see where we're at with regards to maybe we can spend some contingency dollars instead of changing things around. But I mentioned it. So guys have worked real hard. Next slide. Bathroom renovation project. So there's a picture, looking down you can see all the labs on the left-hand side. It's kind of, again, a long kind of a trough system. Our mirrors are in, our lights are in, putting the final touches associated with our partitions. Our architect will be here this Thursday to do a punch list. Our intent is to have these operational for the first girls volleyball game on Thursday. So we'll turn those over. We know of punch list items that necessarily won't be completed by then, but they will be operational and turned over, and we'll work with the school district on getting in there at the appropriate time and fixing things up. So both the girls and the men's restrooms will be turned over this week. Next slide. Out there at the sports complex. So I think we put in well in excess of 1,500 cubic yards of concrete since the last board meeting, but you can look out there, we are laying turf. So all the turf is going in. We're in the process of sowing the turf. Again, what we've done is on the inside edge of the concrete track is we have a wooden nailer. So just like you would do stretch carpeting in your house and you have a tack board along the perimeter, we'll be utilizing that wood nailer to kind of stretch things out. Once all those carpet pieces are laid, I think there's approximately 56 different rolls. Once the rolls all go down, then they get sewn together. There are inlays that go into that. So i.e. the horse head in the middle of the field, some of the hash marks, as well as the yardage markers all get cut down by hand. And then sewn in are the new, like the Roman or the letters associated with that. So all that is done by hand. Our press box and our grandstands, our press box is there. We're in the process of powering that up. Our grandstands have been up for a couple of weeks. We had some pieces that I rejected associated with our aluminum bleachers, i.e. we had some oxidation during shipment. So we've replaced some of those pieces, but our grandstand will be turned over this week. And we should have power to our box. Then we've got subsequent things to coordinate with IT as far as getting the speaker system back in there and getting things operational from a game hosting perspective. Next slide.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta say something because it was too cool. Tyler took me out. We went through everything today. Libby showed me all. It's coming along fantastic. Thank you. We got to use the auditorium for our opening assembly already. So we had kids in there. It was super cool. But the day we went out and I watched them roll out some of the turf and everything. And so they come along with these big rolls, right? It's on the back of a tractor. He zips out across the field, rolls the whole thing out. The guys come in behind him. They flip it over. Then they get in a line and they pick up the two edges of the thing. They have a sewing machine. And he just goes right down the line. There's guys working in front of him, keeping it straight, pulling it on, and they lay it down and stretch it all out. I mean, it's super cool to watch. And man, those guys are just going click, click, click. It was quite a process. So just a lot of fun up in the crow's nest. Looks really, really good up in there. We walked through all the storage shed, but I'll let you continue on your journey. But it was a pretty impressive walkthrough today. We did everything. So
if you would, could you go back this one? I think I put some dates in there. Yeah. So we've coordinated with Rich. Our intent is to try to have the first, I think, JV football game he mentioned on September 14th. Again, kind of a trial run, get things done, but our carpet, our turf will be operational. Our track surfacing won't meet that date, but we'll be able to go across that track with stable mat. We'll be able to host and do activities on the field itself. If you look like up in the upper parking lot, just so you understand the iteration, once all that turf goes down, the pile thickness of that existing, what we're laying down is probably, I think it's either 2 1/4, 2 1/2. But what gets thrown out there is all the play sand and then the rubber ballast. So you'll start with the pile length that's like it's either 2.25 or 2.5 inches. Well, then the only thing that you'll see then, as far as the top, will be approximately the top 3/4 inch of that pile. Everything back from the base up is they'll do multiple passes. They'll do a pass with sand, then they'll do a pass with rubber, then they'll do another pass with sand. So there'll be approximately like 4 different layers of 1/8 to whatever thickness, but that's all of that material is staged in the upper parking lot right now. And so then they'll start to go around and they'll throw that once they have all the pieces sewn together. So next slide, please. This is just an update with regards to the concessions in the adjacent storage building. So our roofing is complete. Our exterior metal is going on. We are, watertight from as far as the envelope portion of it. We have our prime paint going on. The picture there on the left is looking diagonal in the concession stand itself. So those 2 longer windows will be the transaction windows for the concession stand. Then if you look in the picture in the bottom right, that's just all of the plumbing rough end is all in the wall and the drywall. But I think when we looked at the existing stadium, we had 3 toilets in the female restroom. And so by code, I think we're up to we have 1,000 person seating capacity associated with the grandstand. And I think the number is 13. I think there's a requirement to have at least that many, fixtures on the wall. But, all those toilet fixtures will go on that wall. There'll be partitions, and then the lab will be on the right-hand side. We've got, follow-on things associated with power and plumbing that we need to do, but we're started with our interior finishes this week. Next slide. Our playground at Pine Butte Elementary. So our playground's been, done for a couple of weeks. We got ready for school, and we thought we were doing a good thing with having 2 Gaga pits with the intent, but we found out that the old Gaga pit had to be removed in its entirety. So we're in the process of getting that old pit out of there, and then we're relocating the new pit in its existing location. We're aware of it.
Just say that one more time. The new pit will be there.
The new pit is there. It's on the back side. We're just going to relocate it to the existing pit's location. We were able to pour concrete. We've got some finishes. We got some elevation issues. We have other punch list items associated with some concrete, some broom cleaning in the parking lot that we're aware of. We're tracking it. We're not done, but we're definitely substantially complete. Next slide, please.
I'd like to say on this one, the slide did not disappoint. So I asked my 5th grade grandson, was it too big-ish? He goes, oh no, the slide wasn't.
This is just the Pine Butte site improvements associated with the bus drop off and redoing the concrete pad for the bus stop and the ramp down there and the ADA, striping. So our bus stop has arrived. We're just in the process of trying to get some interior partitions complete at the high school, and then we'll move those guys over and we'll start erecting that bus stop on that concrete pad that's right there to the left of it. So again, we're going to turn over those interior restrooms on Thursday. I'm aware of some things that we're going to need to replace that are on my punch list with regards to some holes and some panels that we're not going to be able to accept. And we'll just have to work with the school district to get those things corrected. But I'm very happy with our progress. I don't think we're impacting the school environment. I think our guys are behaving well. Again, if you have any issues or you hear things, I'm the one throat to choke. Please reach out to me and I'll handle it accordingly.
That's
my
great.
first. That's it. Sorry.
I'm excited. That's cool.
Did we get
If you guys get a chance, you need to go see that.
Okay, I'll go out there.
did we get heated seats in the grandstand?
Oh, we didn't- sorry, we didn't-
If any of you guys want to go with me or whatever, just swim by the school and I'll break out and take you for a walk.
Can I take my textiles class tomorrow?
They should see that.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
They might- So
It's gonna look really good when it's all done.
Yeah.
Steve, there was a comment made, but when addressing it, they didn't want didn't reply back, so I don't know if you want me to read the comment. Okay, Heather Willerby asked food service freezers on power outage. Question.
We'll get to that next year. Something I'm not gonna worry about right now.
Again, another critical, I mean, just a
Yeah.
coordination item that we have to kind of take into account to do some planning. And hopefully that's why there's long lead time or long lead for that equipment. And so that's the plan is next summer. There's a lot of coordination that has to happen so we don't have failures or wasted food or.
So they're not both gonna be done at the same time, so I can imagine we'll probably transfer some stuff to Pine View and then transfer back to the high school when those things are done. But yeah, it'll all be taken care of.
And then
We'll
once
just-
the. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I wanted to invite Tyler. What we're gonna do, my plan is to have him come to whole group or large group admin and just start the planning with us early. You know, once the bond's done and some of that's out of the way so that we aren't waiting until the last minute. So all these different entities like food service, whatnot, we can have a plan. So
That makes sense. Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I have a question. Were we looking at doing like open houses to show the public what it is? Cause like I never get to go into the male bathroom if I just attended a butt plugging. But so the public could see, the taxpayers could see what these look like Pine View Playground, the football field, the auditorium, and then you would get to go see what the boys bathroom looks like if you're female. It looks so good.
Did that door get fixed or then hit the toilet?
That was down here.
No, it's
Those
down
are-
here.
Those were, yeah,
Did it get fixed?
I don't know.
I'm sure we can accommodate something like that at some point.
That
I
would
was
be
just saying,
fun.
when it's done, like just
Yeah,
letting the
that's what I was
public
gonna, yeah,
see
when
like
we're
this year
done.
where it's at.
I mean, I'll help post it as long as people don't yell at me.
Are we,
Just gonna go.
the bathroom down here was about handicap accessibility. We're making sure that the new ones definitely are too.
Yeah, so there were a couple of questions. I'm not doing the bathroom renovations that are in the lower level. I think there's some problems with some partitions or whatever, but I can run those things to ground, but that isn't part of our scope.
Right.
Our bathrooms are just the ones up top. I can tell you that everything that we're putting in up top is, is code compliant associated with the new standards.
Cool.
I think these other restrooms were basically, it was kind of a touch up. It was some new partitions, some painted walls, maybe some replacement paper towel dispensers. I'm just not aware of all the scope. And I think Robert was handling that through the maintenance staff and was working on that simultaneously.
Yeah.
So.
We have several people in town in wheelchairs and whatnot, and I think it's really important.
Yeah, the new ones, the ones that the public will be using upstairs are.
Thank you.
Scott?
Oh, I just raised my hand and right at the end, somebody mentioned that Robert's working on that. I know he went on vacation right when that was happening. So I know I brought it up to Darren too. So they are working on that. They're fully aware of those two doors that are hitting those toilets.
Right. Croft.
Trey?
I'm actually really excited to hear that there is the possibility of looking at the lighting in the auditorium. Specifically, those lights, I can tell you that when I'm trying to get something ready and it takes 15 minutes for the lights to warm up, it's a little fun. The only suggestion that I had is that we have two different lighting systems in there currently. We have those little halogens, and then we also have the big overhead lights. If we could merge those and have the big lights be the dimmers and take one of those systems out, because one of them never works.
Yeah, we'll have Tyler and CEI put something together for us. So we'll get through the rest of these projects. That's something we'll do.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any of this to get fixed now. I just wanted to plant the seed while it was being talked about.
Sure. Mr. Bailey?
I was just gonna say, I have the ADA requirements on my desk and talking to Darren about these ones down here and working on it, so it's in process.
Yeah. They already look way better than they did. Thank you. Brenda.
Only because it's near and dear to me. I just have questions about the concession stand on the football field. I haven't seen any plans or any layouts or anything. Is there a chance to get a sneak peek at that?
I'm seeing it tomorrow. We go look at it.
I just don't know equipment wise, what we need, what we're getting. Well. The work will be real.
Yeah. Okay. All right, anything else? Transportation report. Sure, Mr. Slater must be tied up with, football. Bart, you want to just go ahead and, present that for us?
Sure, why not? I'll pull up Rich's report. Transportation, we are running our Ashland and Lane Deer routes. We have 2 permanent bus drivers, Robbie and Ethan. The activity bus will start running on Monday, 8/24. Athletics, volleyball, cross country and cheer started on Thursday, 8/14. CHS, FBMS football started on 8/14. Also, FBMS volleyball started on 8/20. Cross country starts on 8/24, and the Townsend Colstrip football game has been moved to Townsend. I believe the game is on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
It is.
Yep. And so I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing new. Nothing to add. Everything's in there. Unless you have any questions specific.
I saw an email that they might be getting rid of the E-rate program. Is that right?
Yep.
Or, and we don't know for sure yet.
Right now it's under discussion. I try to remember, it's on a federal level, so it's not just statewide.
Right.
But they gave us some info. It was over like, I don't know, over $100 trillion have been granted through E-rate across the nation. And they're thinking about getting rid of it. So
how would that affect us?
immensely. Like a lot. So just give an example. We waited this year to replace some really important switches and UPSs. Only one UPS has died on us so far. I think 2 switches have died, and they're about $1,200 a piece. So if, let's just say tomorrow they all go down, we're looking at 20 to 20 switches at $1,200 a piece. So not including the UPSs, which are giant battery backups. They're equally about, $500 each, and we've got a ton of them. So replacing all that is what was thought for E-rate last year or this year, but we held off. As a team, we made that decision. So next year we have some more to replace the stuff that we were supposed to replace last year, on top of some more stuff that has to get replaced. It's pretty significant, probably $250,000 at least next year that we're looking for, hopefully for E-rate coverage that they might just take away. And then every year we spend about $100,000 to, if not $250,000 for E-rate funding. That'll just get taken out. And then we'll have to get, we talked about the tech budget. I'll add another $250,000 that we have to find somewhere to try to replace critical infrastructure.
Which is even a better reason to hold that 10%.
And programs just keep coming up, new software, new everything that we just try to keep up with these kids, with the staff, with the world, right? Because the world wants our data. We just have to try to combat it the best we can. And some of that costs money. So,
it's not getting cheaper.
No, it gets more expensive. Chromebooks being an example.
And we're gonna continue to look at the programs that we're using and are they what we need? How many people are using them? So we're not spending money on something that.
A handful are using.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the E-rate gives us a discount on equipment.
Correct. Yep. The state provides funding matching by us. They pay about 80%. So
Thank you, sir. Anything else for the work session?
Nothing for policy, nothing for communication.
With that. Being adjourned. Thank you, people.